Folks at home, welcome to Tank Tuesday, and if you didn't watch our last video, you're probably wondering why are all of our pets sitting out here in tubs. Well, we're installing a 3D background in the 300-gallon aquarium, and it is completely installed, so we're about to put the fish back in the 300-gallon, but first, let's look at the process of installing that 3D background. Alright, this is where we left off in the last video. Our 300-gallon tank is just about empty. I've got one little small layer of water. I'm going to use a shop vac to suck that out, dry it up really good, and then start putting the silicone on the background. Alright, let's check in on Moby. Man, this tank is looking so much better. In the last video, we added some new plants, some new driftwood. It is looking a lot fresher and more lively than it did look. Moby seems happy, but he's still wanting that minnow. So as always, we're going to feed him a minnow or two. We got a bunch of minnows. We went and picked up a bunch. I'm going to go ahead and roll a quick clip of Heisenberg chasing him around after we dumped him in. Alright, Moby, we gave you 2 yesterday. You're only getting 1 today, so you better enjoy it. And 3, 2, 1. Missed it and then got it. Alright, we'll be back to check in on Moby in a little while. Alright, I had to lay some towels out in the very back to try to get it really dry before we start putting silicone on. That way we can get a good seal. So these backgrounds come in sections, and if we look at the back here, they have it clearly labeled where you need the silicone. So anywhere you got those red marks, I'm going to put it on there. You can see right here on the edges, and then also I'm going to run another line of silicone across the base of it and up the sides on the end pieces. And what I'm using here is silicone 1. If you're ever doing this for an aquarium, you never want to get silicone 2 because it has some stuff, mold prevention stuff, that can harm your fish. So GE all-purpose 100% silicone 1 and clear. Alright, we got it sitting in there. It's not silicone down yet, but Liz and I just beasted it in there and it is looking good. Liz, show them their muscles. Our house is a mess right now. We got the hoods laid out in the kitchen. That's the hood to the tank. We got stuff everywhere, but I think this project is going to be worth it. Alright, so here's our plan of attack. We got everything in place. We got our silicone spots here. We're about to put silicone on these, put it up against the back of the wall, and then use these braces here as support to hold it in place while it cures. All the way up against the rock. Alright, we got the silicone in place on that first part. We got 3 braces. We got a little fiber cloth right here. Make sure we don't scratch up our acrylic. Alright, so I tried to completely cover up any holes where these fish could jump out of tonight, because the last thing I want to do is wake up in the morning and have a dead fish sitting there on the patio. So I duct taped the top on. I put blankets over the holes where it kind of bowed out here. Let's go ahead and get a quick look at our fish. There's Clyde and Sheriff. Still both seem to be doing okay. No major signs of stress. Hadn't eaten any minnows yet, but Sheriff kind of looks like he's about to. Let's check on Bonnie. Bonnie seems to be doing good. She's just sitting right there on the bottom, not really moving much at all. Hope we didn't disturb her egg cycle and her spawning season. Last thing to note, it is going to get down to 45 degrees tonight here in Alabama. That's pretty chilly for the spring, for April. So fish, you're about to get to see what it would be like living in a real pond, having to deal with these cold nighttime temperatures. But I have no doubt that y'all are going to survive. Alright, part number 2 installed. We did both the outside pieces first. The key is finding those pressure points. Alright, all 3 pieces are in. I had just enough 2x4s to hit all these pressure points right here. Man, I got to say, it's already looking good. I cannot wait for that silicone to dry and to put some water in there and see what these fish think about it. But there's just one last quick look at it. Now it's time to wait 24 hours and let it dry. Alright, time to check in with the family members. It has been a long day. We got Liz here, Sarah here, sound asleep. She has worked hard today to get that new aquarium background in, keep them fish happy. We're not gonna wake Sleep well. Oh, sleep good. I didn't mean to touch you. She grunted at me. Alright, last update for tonight. It is raining again and it has gotten cold. I'm talking, it's dropped probably 20 degrees. Fish still seem to be doing good. Clyde in there on the right, Sheriff on the left. Let's check on Bonnie real quick. Yep, Bonnie just hanging out, sitting right there on the bottom. Alright, the chemical smell in this room is pretty stout with all that silicone. So the last thing we're doing tonight, we got a mini fan in there, putting out air vibes going that way. And we got a box fan sitting on top, blowing down. And we're hoping it pushes all these chemicals out. Also helps to dry that silicone down there on the bottom. Alright, we got the substrate fixed. Now it's time to go in with some rocks and wood. Alright, we got the logs and rocks in, and I have to say it really makes this tank pop. My hat's off to Aqua Decor. They did a fantastic job on this tank. Put a few plants in there. Also, one thing I wanted to note, I asked you all what kind of pet you thought we'd be getting once we had vertical wood in the tank. A lot of you said crappie. That is not what we're getting for the 300. That's going to go in with Moby. Vertical wood, so a turtle can walk up it and get out of the water. That's what we're going to plan on doing. I'm going to look for a baby turtle here in an upcoming video. Leave a comment down below on what type of turtle you think we ought to get. Time to fill her up. Alright folks, I have to admit this tank is looking better than it has ever looked before. Check it out. Still don't have the lights on yet, but I'm going to run a quick test. I'm going to drop a dozen minnows in there and see if they survive. And if they survive through the night, then we know it's good to put our fish back in. So, a dozen minnows coming up. Alright, here we go with the minnows. Alright, we'll see if they survive through the night. Take a look at this tank. We got the lights on. The next day the water's cleared up. Everything is looking exceptional. All the minnows survived throughout the night. Got them hanging out down here looking good. So now I feel comfortable to put the fish back in the aquarium. Alright, now we're going to roll through some of our subscriber tank clips. And this first clip comes from Bixler. And this is of him feeding his pet bass a crawfish. That's a pretty cool video, Bixler.
Oh, you missed it.
And this next clip comes from Ty, and he says, "Hey, my name is Ty from South Florida. These are my Oscars and cichlids eating. They love goldfish and minnows." This clip comes from Mark Tanner, and he says, "We have a 180 gallon with 2 bass and 2 pet bluegills. We started a YouTube channel called Military Fish Tanks, and we're inspired by your channel." Well, thank you for your service, Mark. This clip comes from Miles Castaneda of his bass feeding. So if you guys are interested in getting a 3D background of your own, I've got a link down in the description. You go to aquadecorbackgrounds.com and let's take a quick look at their galleries. They have a lot of different background styles. You can see they have big rocks, boulders. I got the underground kind of wooden pond look, but they have plenty of other options that you can choose from. But I was extremely impressed when I went to their website, and I can now vouch for them and say it really does turn your tank into a 3D underground nature scene. Check them out, folks. Alright folks, I know that I told you you'd see the fish being weighed in this video, but since this one's getting long, we're going to save that for next video. Here's a quick sneak peek, and things get pretty intense as these bass get fired up. And don't worry, all of you that guessed all of their weights, we still have that on record, and we've weighed them, and if you were the first to correctly guess it, we'll send you out a prize package. But you'll see them being weighed and entering the new 3D tank in the next video. Make sure you hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out, and we'll see you all next week.
Bonnie and Clyde were pretty looking people, but I can tell you people, they were the devil's children. Bonnie and Clyde began their evil doing one lazy afternoon down Savannah.